I also realize when I tell my story, I'm not just telling my story, I'm telling other people's story too. And that's one of the things I had to realize when I decided to step out and say, "Hey, this happened to me." And then I was a teenage mom. I had two kids by the time I was 15 with a married man. When I started telling those real life stories, it just wasn't for me. It was other people out there who didn't have a voice.
You don't just hear that. Let's give a real round of applause and make some noise for Miss Pat, y'all. She's in the building.
Miss Pat in the building.
Can we pull that camera out a little bit on her, Bobby? Let's make some noise for one of the biggest African-American female actors and comedians of 2024 and queen of the Hot and Flashy Tour, which has landed in Tulsa.
Yes.
How you doing?
That starts in September. I'm just here.
You practicing?
Well, I'm working on my new album.
You working on some new material?
Yes.
How you doing?
I'm fine. I'm glad to
how
be
you
here.
doing?
We was late and this.
Y'all was late and stuff.
I'm
sitting around
light
here.
skin. Let's get one thing
Oh,
straight.
she got light
Light
Come on,
skin.
light skin.
Listen here, Tom Joyner knockoff. I was not late. That white dude picked me up and said 3:00.
Okay, well, wasn't
I was
your
on
fault.
time. Don't be. I'm
Pat.
never late.
Okay,
I'm
it wasn't
never
it
late.
wasn't your fault.
So you go in there.
It was
you
him.
push him out the cruise.
Yeah,
Don't
I'm
push
gonna
me
push him
out
out
the
cruise.
Now, where do we start though? If keeping it real was a person, I mean, unfiltered, unedited, tell it like it is. The one and only Miss Patricia Williams, y'all.
Yeah.
Miss Patadoo.
Miss Pat.
You gonna make somebody apply for some credit in my
Miss
name.
Pat, now, where you from?
I'm from Atlanta.
You from the ATL?
ATL,
Born and raised, huh?
Yes, right there, at Grady.
Okay. What made you get into comedy?
I'm a convicted felon.
Yeah,
So I was tired of hearing no at the gas station and McDonald's. So I said, I started telling jokes and it worked out.
Let's
It's
go
all
back.
working
Like,
out.
what was life like coming up in Atlanta? For those who don't know about your story, what was it like before you got into comedy?
Oh, I trafficked cocaine, forged checks, did all kind of crazy stuff.
Yeah.
So she was a certified hustler.
Yeah, I didn't
She
have a
was in the
cell
mix.
phone to slow me down, so I got out there and got some things.
Oh, you
done.
knock on the door. Hey, give me a 20.
No, I didn't smoke dope, sir.
No. I said you were selling dope.
She was the.
Yeah, right. I'm just saying. I said give me a 20.
I don't think I was behind a door.
You're right. You know. Hey, you got a 40.
How many crack houses you been to?
Bunch of them. Trust me.
You an ex-crackhead?
Yeah, I've been to a bunch of them.
I can tell.
You
but
know, I sold them too.
I
sold it too. So,
you sold the residue.
This is gonna be
you didn't
fun.
use.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Tell us a little bit about your childhood growing up. How was that?
I mean, I grew up in Atlanta. I was born in the 70s, so the 90s was a height of my drug dealing years. So
You was there for Freaknik and all of that.
Yeah, before I
Freaknik.
was born there. I remember the very first Freaknik when it came. It came by the black colleges. That's where I grew up at, by Morris Brown and Morehouse.
Yes.
So it immediately hit right there in our neighborhood first.
Now it transitioned into something totally different. You been in Atlanta your entire life, or you lived other places too?
I just moved back to Atlanta from Indiana, because my husband lived there for 15. My husband worked at General Motors, and we lived there for 15 years.
And y'all been married how long?
31.
Awesome. Y'all make some noise for that. 31 years married, Miss Pat. Beautiful thing.
He stayed in there with you for 31 years.
Did somebody stay with you for a long time?
Yeah, not that long now.
You spent all your money on crack. That's why.
I ain't putting my money on no crack. You know.
Now that was
Girl,
an error.
Hey,
I
I
bet
done
you was
been,
a funny
I done
crackhead,
been
too.
there. I done been there.
I know.
Trust
I
me.
can tell. I
done
can
been
tell.
there.
That was an era, though.
Life, that was an era.
Man, the crack era. It's not the crack era anymore.
I don't think crack is the same anymore.
I don't.
No,
I don't
think
know
he- I
personally.
think,
I don't know.
Crack is not popular no more like it was.
It's the meth
It's coming
era now.
back.
They on
No,
that. They
it's
on that
fentanyl.
fentanyl.
Fentanyl,
It's
meth.
pills.
That's the
Pills.
pills and that fentanyl is
liquid
what's doing
stuff.
it. You know,
That's
so
what's happening with the
well,
younger
listeners,
generation.
hey, we talking about drugs, so
When-
hey,
when-
let's get off of that.
When you were there, did you see the BMF era?
I
coming
saw
up
a
in
little
Atlanta?
bit of the BMF era.
That's really big
Yeah.
on TV. 50 Cent's doing his thing right now.
Mhm.
Big ups to him. Did you get to experience any of that
No,
lifestyle?
I didn't do
Being a hustler?
violence.
No.
I was a Christian crack dealer.
Okay.
You know, I didn't disrespect people, and I was nice.
When did you?
I didn't. I
You was nice.
I was very nice.
Okay,
to my
nice.
customers. They don't return if you be mean to them.
So we fast forward a little bit. When did you know it was your time? Like
To do
when
what?
to get into the comedy game and to acting and
I mean, comedy is comedy. You know, I don't think anybody go into comedy thinking they one day, gonna hit it big. We all hope we do, but in the meantime, you just do the work, and hopefully the work will eventually speak for itself. So that's what happened with me. I didn't quit.
Yeah.
That was the main thing in comedy. A lot of people get in, they start and they get discouraged and they quit. So I stuck with it, even through the broke times, the hard times, and no money making times. I stayed in it, mainly because I love doing comedy.
No.
Somebody told me in the beginning, if you ever do it for money, you'll be forever chasing money.
Right.
I do it because I love it. And I tell people all the time, when you do stuff that you love, the money gonna come.
I love
Just
it.
Put
Yeah,
in,
it would always show up.
Yeah, it would always show up.
It
Just
will.
put in 100% into whatever you enjoy doing.
Now let me be the first to say, and I'm apologize. I got a tardy slip on this. I slept on you when you was blowing up early, like 2-3 years ago. I guess it's been what, 3-4 years. You're in your 4th season of Miss Pat.
The Miss Pat show, yeah, and the
And,
second
and,
season.
and
of
you
Court
really
Show.
hit big. When was it when you really hit big? When you knew it was on?
I think way before people even really got to know me, I got a few deals for the Miss Pat show through Fox.
Wow.
It's a Fox show with Lee Daniel and Ron Howard.
Uh-huh.
So I went through a couple writers, and every time we changed writers, I got a new deal. So to me, that was hitting it big. I wasn't on TV, but I was still making money.
Yes, a lot of people don't know behind the scenes. The writers is where the real money is a lot of times.
Well, there's a lot of money behind the camera. So
Yeah.
a lot of times when people grow up in front of the camera and they do a lot in front of the camera, they prefer to go behind the camera and just direct and, do other things because there's money back there too, and you don't have to memorize no lines.
Right. Now, before you got into the acting, it was radio. Let's talk just a
I
little
wasn't
bit.
in the radio. I just did radio.
You work
2 years.
you work radio.
For 2 years for V103.
V103, one of the biggest stations in Atlanta, the People Station, world famous station.
Yeah.
One of the biggest radio stations in the country.
I grew up listening to V103.
Yeah, for me it was either V103 or K104 in Dallas, the big stations, in the major markets. I've been doing radio 20 years. What was it like for you were you asked to do radio, or was that something you just pursued?
I was just asked to do it. One day I went in and did an interview, and I had an interview with another station, and then we talked, and I did it for 2 years. It was fun.
Yeah, Big Tigger.
Mm-hmm. It was Big
And
Tigger Morning
the
Show.
other lady, what is her name?
Shamia.
Shamia.
Mhm.
Shamia, how was that experience?
It was great. I mean, I was there for 2 years. My career really picked up in those 2 years of working with that station. Like, I had the second or third season of Miss Pat show.
Yes.
And then I got Miss Pat Settles It. And then I ended up touring a lot. So I just got too busy.
Man, so you had to leave radio to go do this acting thing because it just skyrocketed for you.
Well, for one thing, my contract didn't get renewed, which it didn't bother me because I was too busy and I was never there anyway.
I heard there was a little controversy with you and Tigger, but I ain't
Well,
going to
no
get into that.
controversies. I don't care what I say. But, I mean, it was, I was leaving anyway.
Yeah.
So,
You was on the way up to the east side.
What made you decide? What made you decide to leave?
because I make more money in acting and touring.
Okay.
And then, I couldn't sit behind and wake up every morning at 5 o'clock to come do a show.
Morning
not that
shows
the-
is early.
Well, not that the money wasn't okay, but I didn't need it.
Mm-hmm.
I was too big for that station. So I just decided
So
to.
you outgrew the station. Huh?
Well, I don't even know if it's that. I didn't have time. Mainly, I didn't have time to do a morning show. I had 8 episodes of the Miss Pat show. I had a court show. I have another show coming out. I got too much going on. And I still do.
Plate was full.
Yeah.
It's too full.
And definitely Atlanta being a top tier radio market, I mean, I'm sure it was kind of bittersweet leaving radio because people really latched on to you more than they did other people at the station when you there. And I've redid my homework. I did my research. You put up some real numbers at that station.
Well, I think all of us did. It was a morning show. So my contract didn't. my contract wasn't for 5 days; it was for 2 days a week. But I went in the
Wow.
extra to help build the show. You know,
That's
how
called
I am.
grinding.
Well, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be number one. But you know, other stuff was calling. I'm going into my 5th season, hopefully of the Miss Pat show and the 3rd season of the court show. I'm too busy.
Now, comedy seems to be what you're just natural. It's nothing like being on the stage. You prefer being on the stage or being behind the scenes doing stuff?
I like doing stand up because, you know, in this business a lot of stuff can be taken away from you. You know, when people are tired of you, things move on. So one thing I do own is I own my stand up. I'm always going to have fans, so I can always tour. I own my podcast. So I try to really work on whatever I do is to own the things that I create. So I can fire myself and ain't nobody else got to fire me.
Now, you got comedy. We go back. ATL, you was a hustler, certified in the streets, getting money. Then you transitioned to radio at some point, and out of radio, you hit it. You get this big break in comedy, and now
I was already established before I took the radio job. Yes, I already had the Miss Pat show.
Okay.
And while I was there, within the first year, I got the court show.
Now,
so radio didn't do anything for me. It was
it was really
a playground,
taking up your time.
I liked it.
Getting in the way of what
it.
you really wanted to do?
No, it was not getting in the way of what I wanted to do. It was just something. I think it was just really something I wanted to try. So I tried it.
Yeah, I never heard you on the air out there, and I used to go through there all the time. But people say you was the truth and told it like it is.
I mean, I had fun doing it.
Yeah.
I really did. If I had time, I would probably be searching for another radio job. I just don't have time.
Can we transition to your home life? How's that? You got family, you got a husband, you have children.
Yes, I have 4 grown kids and 3 grandkids, and I have kids I have custody of. I have 4 of those.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Salute to you on that. Let's talk about this DIY thing that you are so fascinated with. I hear you just built a crazy house and did it all yourself.
Well, I didn't physically build a house, but I was the general contractor.
Oh,
yeah, because I mean, I am a DIY. Before my career took off, I was that person in the garage. I was that person at the Goodwill pulling stuff off of the shelves and, you know, redoing this and painting this and trying this out. So
you know how to use a square.
I don't know how to use a square, but I know how to use a saw.
You know how to use a hammer and a nail?
Yes, well, preferably a nail gun, but
Yes.
you know. If it don't use that type of strength, I do know how to use a hammer.
You did that during the pandemic. How was that like being able to take your time?
Well, I did my basement during the pandemic, the start of the pandemic, and then we ended up moving back to Atlanta. And so my husband didn't want to live in the city. He wanted to live outside the city. So I bought 7 acres, and there was a house there. So I tore it down, and I said, I'm going to be the general contractor. I've never done anything that big. I don't think I will ever do anything that big again. I made mistakes.
What if they offer you a TV show, though? I mean,
I would definitely do it for other people because I enjoy doing it. I would love to have a TV show doing that type of stuff.
Flipping properties and
Not
redoing.
even flipping property. Flipping property don't get me. I think what really turns me on is blessing people. I would love to go in for people who cannot afford to get certain things done in their house and maybe bless them with their kitchen redone or a bathroom that's redone. Just, you know, stuff like that. I don't care nothing about flipping because flipping don't really make anybody happy.
It sounds like what makes your heart happy is what you enjoy doing the most.
And what I enjoy
helping
doing
people.
I do. I enjoy helping people.
Wow. Your journey, it's one that everybody can't say they've been through. If I had to classify you in the ranks of comedy being you in 2024, I would, and this is not a shot at anybody, but I would say you're right there on the level of people like Wanda Sykes, Sherry,
Shepherd.
Yes, what's my girl name?
Monique.
Mm-hmm. Some of the top tier. If comedy wasn't it, what would you be doing?
I'd probably be stealing, sir.
I don't want you to steal.
Well, I'm too old to be stealing and slinging drugs. I don't know what I'll be. Probably somewhere redoing furniture. I probably will have a furniture line or sewing some stuff. Who knows what I will be doing? You can guarantee one thing. I'll be somewhere making me some damn money.
Oprah came through Tulsa last year and did a show called Rebuilding Black Wall Street where...
Yeah, I'm going to visit it while I'm here.
Yes, you got to check that out while you're here.
Everybody been telling me.
What are you here for, though? I mean, what brings you here?
I'm here to perform at the Comedy Club this week, Bricktown Comedy Club. I'm there tonight. 2 shows tonight, 2 shows tomorrow.
Well, welcome to Tulsa, first of all. We want to say welcome to Tulsa. We
Thank
appreciate
you.
you sliding through. Tulsa's a media market. We don't always get A-listers here, and I consider you an A-lister.
Well, I hope so. I consider myself a lister, too, I hope.
Let's go back to your show. Which one you prefer, the TV show or the court show?
I prefer both of them. They pay.
Yeah. Real talk. I got a chance to catch up on your content, and the court show is cool. I like the one with you and 2 Chainz and his son. That was
the promo.
That was really funny.
Thank you.
Yeah, and then you did some others, but your show, Miss Pat,
The Miss Pat Show.
the TV show,
The sitcom.
for some reason, I thought it had Tyler Perry written on it, but it wasn't ever Tyler Perry.
No, it wasn't. It's Lee Daniels.
A
and
lot
Ron
of people
Howard.
associate Tyler Perry because of BET.
I was gonna say that a lot of people thought it was Tyler Perry because it was BET, and Tyler Perry owns part of BET Plus. And in the first season, we had to constantly tell people, "Hey, y'all, Tyler do great content, but this is not his show."
Yeah.
You know, this show started off at Fox and went over to Hulu, and when Hulu didn't pick it up, BET Plus picked it up. So it's a Lee Daniels show.
The show is crazy, and I mean, you guys look like y'all just having fun. It's a family atmosphere. It reminds me of my childhood growing up.
Growing up black.
Yes. Family Matters, Different Strokes, any of those shows. I mean, but you guys are late night adult comedy.
Well, we call it a grown-ass comedy.
Yeah.
Because that's what it is. I mean, a lot of people watch it with their kids, and, a lot of people watch it by themselves because we are using grown people language.
Yes, you get a little ranking in there sometimes.
Well, I'm going to say this. For years, they've put people on TV that didn't represent all the black moms in this world.
Yes, ma'am.
You know, I am a black mother, and it's a lot of women out there that talk and act the way I do.
Oh.
So why can't I be a mother on TV? Every mother don't bake cakes. Some people cook cocaine. You know,
and that's reality.
Yeah, I'm not a kitchen type person unless I'm about to make some money. So when I got my third writer, Jordan, my co-creator, Jordan E. Cooper, and he was like, well, why don't we just let her be herself?
Yeah.
Why don't we let her talk the way she talked for real? And, it was scary because it had never been done before.
Right.
And then when it took off for BET Plus, everybody stood back and was like, wow, people really resonated to the show and they love it. I mean, when I dropped season 4, they was already asking for season 5.
BET has really rejuvenated its television shows.
They're picking up some really good shows. They got Average Joe. They got DR in Detroit. I mean, they got everything Tyler Perry makes. So they're
Crazy.
really dealing into different types of shows. Or those 2 shows are more like suspense or mystery. What's
It's
those
just good
episodes?
black TV again.
It is. It's getting there.
And let's talk a little bit about streaming. How does that, I know you push the streaming because you're on BET Plus. You guys are not necessarily on.
We come on BET too.
Uh-huh.
When we come on other channels also, once the season is old.
But the streaming, how important is that for people to go back and watch your shows?
Well, it's very important. I mean, it's just like watching TV back in the day. Instead of you catching it right then and there, you can catch it 3-4 days later when you ready to. Most people watch.
People busy.
Yeah, people busy, but most people who watch the Miss Pat show usually binge it because we write it so you can binge it. We hoping that you do turn it on and watch all eight episodes right there in a row.
I watched a clip of you and Tammy Roman. Is that her name?
She's my sister on the show.
Is she your? Oh, she's your sister on the show. Mm-hmm. And then your husband. There was a story about you and her and your husband. You guys were going at it. and y'all was cussing each other out, and it was like two sisters having a real argument, a real
That's
fight.
season 1, yes. That was the finale.
We go back to that season 1 finale, and then she was trying to tell you what to do in your house, and you kicked her out, and she was outside frustrated, throwing stuff at the door, but it was really about she was trying to tell you something about your husband.
No, she was the finale was my child made a mistake and got some drugs from my other child, and she was supposed to be watching them. And her being an ex-addict, and everything just blew up. Instead of talking about it, I immediately pointed the finger at her to say that she was wrong.
That was season 1.
That was season 1.
You're now at season 4.
Yes.
Season 5 is about to drop.
No, season 5 is not about to drop. I wish and hope and pray. We just released season 4 in May. So we're waiting to getting picked up for season 5.
How confident are you that you will get the paperwork signed that you need for season 5?
I'm pretty confident, but I mean, I don't know yet.
I think it's a good chance.
Well, I know we put a hell of a season out there for season 4.
Yes, you did.
And I know how much people watched it in that first week because it's streaming. So once you get these fans that like a show, they know how important it is to watch a show back to back. That first 2 weeks to run it up. So I think they, I'm pretty confident and hope and pray that we do come back for a season.
I'm going to go back and watch every episode, binge watch as much as when I binge watch, I usually watch a season. Maybe I'll sit down in the evening and go all the way through the night. It'd be 7 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah,
you
that
still watching?
To me too. When I was all into Handmaid's Tale.
Your success though, season 1 was coming out the gate. Mm-hmm. Season 2 got better. Season 3, season 4 was phenomenal.
Well, we 3-time Emmy nominated.
That's crazy.
We're up for an Emmy again this year.
Congratulations. Y'all make some noise for the Emmy nominated Miss Pat. She's in the building. It's KBOB 89.9 Black on Black Community Radio. We tell the stories our way. If you just now tuning into the show, we got the legendary, the biggest one of the biggest comedians, Black female African American comedians of 2024. I'm gonna give you that respect and give you that props because I haven't seen another comedian, female wise, African American, doing what you're doing, putting it on the forefront and spreading a really positive message, even though you can be a little bit unfiltered.
I'm always unfiltered.
And unedited. You're always unedited too.
Well, I'm not. I'm usually if I'm cussing you out, it's live.
But it's so.